What's up is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through.
We have
Dangerous times, don't fly too high.
saw a little bit of their
Be sure to keep them round inside. Fly forever if you keep it tight. Love the world and keep the sky under mine.
As always, everything we discuss is for entertainment and is speculation. Please like and subscribe, and definitely join our discussion in the comments. If you're ready, let's get into it. Good morning, everybody. Hello, hello. Hi, James. Hi, Brooke. I know the goat is on right now. I know she's on. Hopefully, thanks for jumping in. Yeah, ready to speculate. But today I normally do my lives on Mondays, so I wanted to stick to that, but I don't have my video ready. So that's why I said this is going to be like a working session. I want to talk about I want to read some more docs that I usually post as my videos. So I thought I would do it on here, and then after I read them, we can talk about them. I do think one of them in this set that I have coming up has Eric Gower's written interview, and I know everybody's showing the audio and talking about that. So, and then I also loved Witchy's idea about making a list of all the shady characters that we're coming across in the documents. Hi, Mark Schumann. Hello, hello. Good morning. So I already have a list started, and I want to point out the documents where they came from and why they are suspicious people. Yeah, there's going to be a good list going and some crazy ones. And I found a crazy picture that I wanted to show too. And I pulled this out again. Did you guys see my live, my walk and talk last week where I had my, this hat right here? I feel so weird saying that I have one of these. But I live in the snow belt and I didn't even know I had this. It was probably left over from when like me and the kids would go outside and play in the snow and stuff like that. But this is how cold it gets around here in the wintertime. But on my walk and talk, my audio was horrible, but I was showing how, like, look at the way I'm holding this. This is a true like balaclava, and it looks jagged when you hold it or lay it down. So that one photo that they have of the balaclava in the ISP photos, I thought it looked like it was cut. And I think I traced around the cut outline on my video last week. I know I want to put it on. I want to put it on to see what this outline is going to look like on your face. Like I'm imagining it's just going to go like it's going to cover my nose. So only my eyes would be showing. So this is the kind of mask that covers your nose. And let me tell you, there would be a lot of DNA under the nose part of this because it would just make your nose drip and drip and drip. But when you, like me being able to like physically have this in my hands and see the stitching, like it's stitched on the sides, even though it's jagged. It's not cut. It comes that way. So then I went back and looked at that photo closer. I'm guilty. That's what I said. I said I was nowhere near Idaho ever. I've never been to Idaho. Yeah, I've had different versions of these, but I couldn't believe I had one that looked just like because if I hadn't found this in my closet, I wouldn't think that this is what they normally look like. I was shocked. I've always had the ones that like they're wider, like a wider space. But I went back and looked at the photo closer and you can see the stitching around the eye cutout. So it doesn't. I changed my mind. I have to correct myself from my last video that I thought it looked like a cutout, self-made, homemade balaclava. No, I now think that that was store-bought, probably, and came that way. You need my alibi. Where was I on November 12th and 13th of 2022? I was here at home. Let's see some of your comments. Oh, Brooke has one too. Doesn't have the cutout. What does it just have? Like just the eyes? Some of them come with just the eyes cut out. Yeah, different versions. Oh, the photo that I have here on the screen is from 3 years ago. I don't know if I can make it bigger. Let me see. I can. This is how much snow we had 3 years ago. We haven't gotten, we had snow last week, but you could still see the grass sticking through. But I know this is coming. I know this is coming. The way I measure the snow, if you look at that top photo where the table is on the right, you can just see the snow stacked there. That's probably like 2 feet of snow right there. So I just look outside and see how much snow is stacked on the table. That's how much snow we got. Hi, George Stewart. Good morning. Good morning. Let's see. Can't send email for reasons due to this. To shut everyone up. Who are you trying to email? Dylan knew Brian. They set him up. Why Bill Thompson ever let BK make eye contact? Huh. How do you think Dylan knew Brian? I think one of the docs that I'm going to read is an interview with the neighbor, and I found it interesting. I'm going to read the Moscow Docs 101 to 110. And the neighbor, they were asking the neighbor if they ever saw Brian with anybody, and they do describe somebody. Good morning, Lucy. Good morning. I'm still having coffee. I had to heat it up. I almost left it in my microwave. I hurried up and grabbed it before I jumped in. You're going to send it all. My email's on my page, George, in my description. What did you say? You're going to time me out. Lucy, you can't time out the host. Are you getting triggered by my snow pictures? I'll try not to slurp into the microphone. The info that came out 2 years ago, going through all of them. I know Dago's been going through awesome. I loved listening to the press conference again. Oh, and when we were watching that on Dago's show, I was asking about that not YouTuber, the TikTok girl that was at the second press conference, and then she's the one that ended up dying in the car accident. And in the press conference, she was asking about a K-bar connected to the ROTC program. And could the perpetrator be a female? Have they not ruled out a female? So I made sure to jot down what she was asking because I knew I had followed her. She said her name was Destiny Martin. I don't know if that's her true nickname or true name or not, but I did find, I knew I followed her. I'm pretty sure it's her. I did put the TikTok in, I think, Dago's Discord. I wonder if I could pull it up on here. I usually don't use TikTok on my computer, but if you guys want to look it up real quick, the TikTok user's name was fairy_queen. And I'm pretty sure that is her real name. Okay. Her TikTok user account, if it's the same person, and I'm pretty sure it is, because the account that I went to does not have any new posts since like March of 2024 or something like that. And I don't know when that woman passed away. Yes. Yeah. 3 steel jail cells. That sounds connected to law enforcement. That's weird. Wow. I when I watched her on TikTok, sometimes it would be a little weird because she went live a lot and she was always super emotional and crying like about the case. And I don't remember specifics what she was talking about, but she was always just very, that's all I can say is emotional and like crying, like crying. And then after I found out about her being in that accident and passing away from it, I was like, was she like worried about something? Because I know she would, to me, it sounded like she was complaining about people being mean to her. So now looking back, I'm like, was she meaning mean or threatening? I don't know. Yeah, good question, Mark. Was the driver prosecuted? I wonder who that driver was. Who did they work for? Interesting. Just interesting to look back and, because that other reporter that was Caden Young, was that his name? Was he the reporter from the local newspaper out there? Was it the Argonaut? He also ended up passing away. So, and that Destiny Martin was from out there. So it's a possibility. It's not crazy to think maybe she knew Caden. Maybe they were on to something. I don't know. So, George, are you saying you're trying to communicate with people and you're getting threatened? They're threatening to sue you? Maddie, only one Eric took home, the other 3. Don't we know Kaylee was with Maddie, though? I mean, we can see her at the grub truck. Do you think she went with someone else? I can tell you that I've had some people coming at me in the comments that are mad about YouTubers. I got a comment that said, you YouTubers need to stop talking about this. And I'm not backing down from those comments anymore. I used to just like leave them alone or just not respond or whatever. But I respectfully respond. There's reasons why we are still talking about it. And in fact, my response was something along the lines of, when the information that we're seeing in the documents and the body cams and the interviews matches what they're saying happened and showing that Brian Koberger absolutely did this by himself, then we'll stop talking about it. People are unhinged. That's one of our words in here, Lucy. Right, Brooke? Oh no, wrecked. You said whacked. I said wrecked. One day I said, I'm wrecked. After Grub Truck, videos and pictures of Kaylee. Yeah, I would have to see some of that, George. You can't remember anything past what he was hauling in the okay. All right. Yeah, that was sad. Okay. Oh, I wanted to give a big shout out to Mark B. If you guys haven't gone over there to see his barks and texts video, I have to give him a shout out for sitting there and listening to all of those barks in his earphones, in his ears. That was amazing data. He counted all the barks, the times, the duration, the length, the time in between barks, like when there would be a pause, and then compared it to the times that the girls were texting. Because if that's the time period that the crime was occurring, or if it occurred right before that, I thought that was an excellent way to get some data, right? We're always trying to get data or records or something for proof. But I do think that didn't the barks get more after the time that supposedly the white car left, after Dylan made it downstairs? If I remember what he found correctly, I think the barks got more frequent. Fairy Queen isn't on there, but Riley has a memorial page for her. Oh, you can't find her account anymore? It shows up for me when I went in there. And is that so you're saying that's the right person? I had the right person. And good morning, Ro, by the way. Hello, hello. The video that I'm going to get ready for today, for tomorrow, is I want to relate it to not only the appeals, but I want to talk about the difference between appeals and post-conviction relief, because I didn't realize the distinct difference and how complicated that whole thing can be. But that's coming for tomorrow. I'm getting that ready for tomorrow. Can you post a picture on this? What's the picture of? You can email me. You can email me. It's typically unique143 at Gmail. Let's see. Oh, I know Dago, I think, watched the Eric Gower video last night, and Lana was watching it this morning. I don't know if she's still on, giving her interpretations, but so the main thing that stood out about that is he didn't mention Dylan texting him, correct? When she said, I texted him to see, are you still driving? And one of the thoughts I had is, what if it wasn't him she texted? What if it was like Molly? That would be interesting. That's just speculation. And then for Eric, it seemed like there were lots of texts, like everybody saying, are you driving? Are you driving? Are you driving? Which he's a driver. That's a normal question. However, I have a family member who used to drive for one of those companies, but I would use him personally. I wouldn't go through the app, and I would say, can you take me here at this time? I wouldn't text him and say, are you driving? So then I was thinking, what if that's a code? What if that's the code for something? Are you driving? It could mean like, do you have stuff? Are you delivering? Are you available? Like, I don't know. And the reason I say that is because, I'm no angel. I was not a horrible, horrible person, but I did party back in the day, and not anything hardcore or anything like that. But if me and my friends wanted to smoke a little something, we would call it bowling. Like, do you want to go bowling? Because we were so important, wouldn't want to say that on the phone, because like someone would be listening to us. We were ridiculous. So yeah, I don't think it's far-fetched to say they could have had some code words for things. Just a thought. Just a thought. Which one? There's a lot. And I'm not sure, Ro, which one you're talking about. And I know Riley, I'll have to go. Yeah, right, Lucy. Lucy said she's definitely an angel. That's funny. That's funny. Hey, we have real talk on here, right? That's our tagline. We're gonna have real talk. All right, I am gonna pull up. I'm gonna pull up these documents now. Bear with me. I said this was a working session today, so I am going to read 9 or 10 documents straight through. And then, or at least I won't stop till after a whole document. I don't want to chop it up, because then I'm going to cut it out and use it for a video. And then we'll talk about them. I'm trying to make my editing easier. So let me get back. I got to pull them up. And I'm still on the Moscow documents, but I did skim through. After I do that, I have another segment that I want to pull up a few things from the ISP documents that I thought were weird. All right. Can you guys see my... Oh, no, you can't. I'll show you my drive. I get proud of it sometimes. Add to stage. Yeah. All right. Let me go back. So when I'm in my drive, if you guys have never seen this before, you can color code your folders. So like I started doing Monday live shows. So you can put emojis next to it also. And if you put an emoji next to your folder, it moves it to the top of your folders page. So I just wanted to share that. And then, I have all my topics in a folder. So I've got Idaho 4 docs and videos. And then I've got the Moscow docs in a folder. And then they're separated by the numbers. So I'm going to start with 101, if it'll open. Hello. There we go. Hopefully you guys saw all that. Is this going to be a living document? I have a living drive, a living Google Drive. It's still living 25 years later, right, Lucy? Still alive, still being added to and changed. So George, you are hardcore on the path that you think he was undercover and got screwed. I don't know. I mean, still looking for more evidence. I did come across something that I thought was weird against him. Maybe it's in that ISP doc. I'll pull it up later. I can't remember which one it was right off the top of my head. Okay, this is document. Where's it at? Here, 101. Moscow Police Department document 101. Brett Payne. This is simply a list of evidence that they took from the house. And it is item number 437 to 448, a nightstand, a pink comforter, a blue blanket, pillows with an S, but they lump them all into one item. Mattress, bed frame, mattress, bed frame, pillows with an S, sheet, nightstand, and pillows. So only 2 mattresses and 2 bed frames. Interesting. And that was at approximately 1400 hours on January 6th. That's crazy. Assisted by members of the Idaho State Police and the FBI, additional evidence items were collected from the 1122 King Road. The above items were collected and transported to the Moscow Police Department and booked into evidence. Reviewed by Dustin Blaker. Why are they just taking mattresses and bed frames on January 6th? This is report 102, Danny Vargas. On January 4th, 2023, at approximately 10:30 hours, I released the remainder of DM, so Dylan Mortenson's personal property, to blank, L blank R. R signed for the items. Attached electronically to the case file. On January 5th, 2023, I learned from Bill Thompson, per the recent signed court order, to hold all evidence. Dylan's items fell under that order. Thompson stated his office would contact Dylan, and her whole last name is redacted, and make arrangements to have Dylan's items returned to MPD. I'm not supposed to interrupt. On January 6, 2023, Sergeant Blaker traveled to Boise, Idaho, and picked up Dylan's personal belongings from DR and transported them back to MPD. On January 9th, 2023, I assisted Sergeant Blaker with unloading Dylan's items from his vehicle back into MPD secured storage garage at the City of Moscow shop. And that's reviewed by Dustin Blaker. Okay, coming back to the chat. So you do have some timelines and that. Oh, that's okay. No big deal. You have a living drive too. Yeah. I'm sure yours is way bigger than mine. Okay. So someone was talking about how in these boxes that they gave back to Dylan, didn't they accidentally give her that green jacket with the flowers on it and the blanket with the hearts? Hello, Lori. Good morning. I hope you're having a good day. So this is the report where they're asking for that back. So I believe that's what I heard. They don't mention that in here, so maybe it'll come up later. But I believe that I heard that green jacket with the flowers on it was given to Dylan by mistake. And then the blanket with the hearts, I think that one was hers. This is document 103, Danny Vargas. Oh, this is Brian Koberger's neighbor. Maybe you can help me with the initials because I am not going to know these names. It looks like FA and AA. Oh, is this Alvarez or something like that? Let me know in the chat. On December 30th, 2022, at approximately 6:30 hours, I stood by while a search warrant was served at blank, the residence of Brian Koberger. While on scene, one of the neighbors, AA, who lived in the same building, stated her husband returned home and he might have additional information to add regarding Brian. A had been interviewed earlier in the day by several FBI agents prior to F returning home. Detective Mowry and I met with A and F, and their last name's A, in their apartment, blank. I recorded the conversation with my phone and informed F and A I would be recording our conversation, which they were fine with. A said she had been speaking with F about the questions she was asked. One question being if she had ever seen Brian with anyone else. F told me they did remember a time when they returned home and said they saw Brian sitting on the stairs leading up to his apartment next to a male. F and A described the male as having light brown skin, a sleeve tattoo on his left arm, wearing a sleeveless shirt and shorts. F said the male was riding a dark color, blue or black, Harley type motorcycle. F said the motorcycle was not a sport bike and was very loud. F said he and A both noticed Brian and the male talking, but said as they got closer, both Brian and the male stopped talking and looked at them. A said Brian acknowledged them and asked how it was going. A said it seemed as if Brian was acting overly nice. A and F said when they walked away to their apartment, Brian and the male were still silent and did not continue their conversation. F said he saw the male get up and heard the motorcycle start, but did not see him drive off. F and A said this was the only time they ever saw this person and or saw or heard the motorcycle. F and A said Brian seemed like a quiet person, and they remembered meeting Brian's dad when Brian moved in. F said Brian's dad was very talkative. F and A said Brian's car was always clean and neat, even on rainy days. A said Brian would often park his car right in front of their bedroom window, and they would notice the headlights when he came and went. F and A did not notice when and if Brian changed the plates on his vehicle. F looked through his phone and thought on the night of the murders, he probably went to bed around midnight. F did not remember seeing lights from Brian's car or knowing if Brian was home or not. F mentioned on another occasion seeing Brian return home around 100 hours and said he was wearing dark clothing, had on a dark colored backpack, and when they said hi to him, he seemed pretty short with them. F did not remember what day this occurred, but said it was not the night of the murders. A said she worked late hours often and would also see Brian returning home around the same time she would, around 100 to 200 hours. So 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock in the morning. We thanked F&A for their time and told them to contact us if they remembered anything else. Our conversation with F&A was recorded and is booked on a DVD into MPD evidence. And then they redacted their names and, I don't know, address or phone number. And this was reviewed by Dustin Blaker. All right, let's see. What does this say? We should make a girls' trip to Moscow. I would definitely take Carlos. Yes, yes, yes. We actually talked about that. That would be fun. I don't know if it would be fun. It would be interesting, that's for sure. I thought that was, who do you guys think the motorcycle guy is? And that's some pretty distinct features. A sleeve tattoo, okay, that's identifiable on whatever arm they said it was on. The Harley, Brian's hanging out with a Harley Davidson. I'm more prepared than the and organized than the prosecution. I don't know about the prosecution, but definitely the cops. Anything about that with the other male was Brent? Do you think Brent had tan skin or brown skin? Mowich drove a motorcycle. Is he does he have some Latina in him? I thought Brent was pretty white, pale skinned. I'm not sure. We have to look for people that drove some Harleys, that's for sure. All right, this is 104, Brett Payne again. On November 23rd, 2022, at approximately 20:39 hours, MM, here she is, came to the Moscow Police Department to be interviewed about her presence in the area of 1122 King Road during the early morning hours of November 13th, 2022. This is Molly. McMichaels was identified as being in the area through records obtained from DoorDash via a search warrant and was confirmed as being in the area based off a Google geofence warrant, which was obtained as a result of this investigation. I was accompanied by FBI Special Agent Alex Skelton during this interview. McMichaels told me she worked for 12 to 18 hours on the night November 12th to the 13th and received 3 orders in the King Road, Queen Road area. 2 of the orders were at the blank Queen Road apartment complex, which is immediately to the east of 1122 King Road. McMichaels said the delivery at 1122 King Road was her final order for the evening. McMichaels said she could not find the 1122 King Road address as the address number was hidden by the porch light, which caused her to remain in the area for approximately 15 minutes. McMichaels also stated her Google Maps told her to go to the parking lot immediately behind 1122 King Road. McMichaels stated she initially parked in the front of 1122 King Road and could see a female in the top left window, the 3rd-story bathroom. McMichaels said she saw the same female, a couple more times in the same window, and she would duck down when McMichaels looked at her. McMichaels then said she drove to the back parking lot behind 1122 King Road and parked. She stated she could see the back courtyard area behind the house and noticed all of the lights were on. McMichaels stated her map told her to walk into the back of the house, but she did not feel comfortable doing so because there was no path. McMichaels said she started to walk down the road, which runs north-south immediately to the east of the residence. McMichaels stated a tan sedan drove next to her while she was walking. McMichaels said there was one male driver and noticed he did not look at me. She said he looked completely zoned and just drove by her. McMichaels later stated the driver was white with blonde or red spiky hair. McMichaels also noticed the dome light in the car was on when it went by and later told me the male was wearing a light colored collared shirt. McMichaels stated she walked back up to her car and drove back to the front of 1122 King Road, at which point she saw the address numbers. McMichaels said she placed the order at the front door, took a picture, and then left at approximately 400 hours. During the time McMichaels was in the area of the King Road residence, the white Elantra can be seen via the 1112 King Road camera, driving back and forth on Walenta Drive and then enter the King Road, Queen Road loop at approximately 3:56 hours. At the point, McMichaels pulled into the front parking lot before she dropped the order off. The white Elantra pulled in behind McMichaels' vehicle, a gray Subaru Forester, and then exited the King Road at approximately 3:58 hours. McMichaels did not mention seeing the white Elantra behind her at any time. I continued to question McMichaels about her time near the residence. She told me she walked down Queen Road at one point with her flashlight out. McMichaels can be seen doing so on the footage from 1112 King Road. McMichaels also continued to tell me the female she saw in the upstairs bathroom window would duck down when McMichaels looked at her. McMichaels described her as having long brown hair. McMichael stated she could not identify the girl as one of the victims. Approximately 30 minutes into the interview, S.A. Skelton requested McMichaels take part in a cognitive interview. McMichaels agreed, and S.A. Skelton began the cognitive interview. During this interview, McMichaels confirmed much of the information she already told us. McMichaels was able to remember she had her dog with her during one of her walks in the area, but did not clarify much more in the ways of the details of the evening. We thanked McMichaels for her cooperation, offered any support she may need, and concluded our interview. Subsequent investigation of video footage and cellular data showed the tan sedan McMichaels saw was likely a light-colored SUV which left the area. Moreover, it does not appear McMichaels saw the white Elantra at any point during her time near the residence. And that is reviewed by Dustin Blaker. Okay. Oh my goodness. I had questions as I was going. I have to jog my memory here real quick. So they said the third-story bathroom. Third-story bathroom. Does that bathroom window face the parking lot? Don't go there unless you take weapons. Yeah, I know. We're not going there. He would have been part of Brian's work study. What do you mean, Brooke? I have to look up that name. I don't know much about that name. I have Emma Bailey in my mind for a lot of things. The long dark hair makes me think that. When we were listening about the Eric Gower interview earlier, I was thinking, knowingly or not knowingly, he could have given a ride to people that were showing up at the house. What else was in this one that I wanted to say about Molly? It's just interesting that, like, the first truth about Molly is that she doesn't see the white car. She describes someone the complete opposite of Brian's description. But yet the narrative that mainstream media was telling us and that the rumors that were out there is that the DoorDash driver saw Brian. The DoorDash driver saw Brian. And I know that really came out when we saw her pullover videos. So if you haven't seen those, Molly seemed to get pulled over a lot by the police. She seemed to know the police. The police seemed to know her. It seemed like an easy pullover for them. You know how the police will sit in like a speed trap because they know it's a low speed limit and everybody goes fast through there. It seemed like Molly was like an easy pullover for her. Like they knew there was a high chance maybe she'd have something in her car, or she'd have some kind of traffic violation, like a light out or something like that. So, but what I saw in those videos of her getting pulled over was how familiar the police were with her and she with them. The conversations you could hear the police having on camera. That's where we learned how one of the police had, I guess you'd call them confidential informants that they used on Facebook to do buys. So they would get people to buy products for them, and then bust them. I guess that's what they would be doing. Oh, yes. Emma Bailey's pullover. That was a trip, wasn't it? When she went to the jail. If you guys never saw Emma Bailey's pullover, it was for a DUI. And that girl took some product, shoved it down her pants, pulled it back out in the interview room on camera without anybody noticing. I mean, we noticed watching it, but in real time, I don't think that girl got busted. I know. Brooke will tell you the details in the chat. That was crazy. That was crazy. Ooh-ha. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, these narratives that were out there in mainstream, a lot of it is not matching what we're finding out. And that's why when people come to the comments and say, you YouTubers need to stop doing this, look at this information. Look at this information. So I wish Witchy was in here. I think maybe we add that tattooed motorcycle driver to our list of people. Have to find out who that is. Tattooed motorcycle, not just a motorcycle, a Harley, a loud Harley. I also thought it was interesting in that document that they know that the Tans, they called it a SUV. To me, when you say sedan, it's a car. When you say SUV, it's up higher off the ground. It's more of that SUV looking vehicle, not a sedan. Do you guys agree with that? Clear distinction in my opinion. Thanks for hanging out with me, you guys. I am going to go on to the next one. Whoops. Got to use my arrows here. Can you still see it? You can still see it. This is 105 Lawrence Mowry. On December 29th, 2022, based on the above information, the Latah County Court signed an order finding probable cause for the criminal complaint charging burglary, Idaho Code 18-1401, 1403, and 4 counts of murder in the first degree, Idaho Code 18-4001, 4002, 4003, 4004, all felonies. A warrant of arrest was issued for Brian C. Koberger. Oh, and this is citing the Koberger phone data. And this is dated January 10th. On December 29th, 2022, Brian Koberger was arrested at his family's home, blank, in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania. That same day, a Pennsylvania magistrate signed a search warrant for the residence, which included Brian Koberger's cell phone. Brian Koberger's cell phone was taken into evidence as part of that search warrant. Koberger's cell phone device is currently in evidence at the FBI Philadelphia Regional Computer Forensic Laboratory, located at blank, long address. The phone data was extracted by FBI SSA Jeffrey Tanzola, subsequent to the warrant being served. On January 9th, 2023, that's Carlos's birthday, you guys. January 9th. On January 9th, 2023, I received a hard drive from SSA Tanzola, which contains a copy of the data extracted from the phone belonging to Koberger. The data is saved on a Seagate 2 terabyte external USB drive. I have that. I think it's the exact same one right here. Can you guys see this? I got to go back and read that again because now I messed up my... This is an external, it's a Seagate, it's 2 terabytes, it's the same exact thing. You can download tons of files on there. I highly recommend getting one of those if you have a lot of files. So you can take them off your computer and not bog down your computer. Oh, good point, George Stewart. $120 gift card does not buy a K-bar knife. Maybe in 2016 it would. Yeah, since 2016, prices have like tripled. All right, let's see what I was reading. I'm starting back up here at the beginning of the paragraph again. Sorry, you guys. On January 9th, 2023, I received a hard drive from SSA Tanzola, which contains a copy of the data extracted from the phone belonging to Coburger. The data is saved on a Seagate 2 terabyte external USB drive with serial number blank and is labeled as Philadelphia RCFL evidence number 000-43447. I applied for and was granted a warrant seeking the evidence from the hard drive provided by Pennsylvania, which contains a forensic image of Brian Koberger's phone, which was stored in the secured computer forensics lab at the Moscow Police Department. At 15:50 hours on January 9th, 2023, I served the warrant on the hard drive located in the forensics lab. Pursuant to the warrant, I downloaded the files to the forensic computers located in the secure forensic computer lab at the Moscow Police Department. I completed the warrant, return receipt, and affidavit. These documents were sent to the Latah County Prosecutor's Office to be returned to the court. I also left a copy of the receipt and warrant with the drive, which was placed back into evidence. I began examining the data for any accounts linked to the phone and Koberger with other electronic service providers such as Facebook, Snapchat, etc. I located the following installed applications: website history, screenshots, and usernames, passwords associated with an electronic service provider. So Brian had Yik Yak, LinkedIn, Reddit, Twitter, Tinder, Dropbox, Washington Trust Bank, PayPal, YouTube, TikTok / Musically. TikTok was originally called Musically. Amazon, Visa Prepaid Processing.com, When to Meet, Activision, GroupMe, NetTeller, Hulu, Instagram, Facebook, PSECU, Spotify, Booking.com, Travelocity, Strava, and NordVPN. These electronic service providers may be storing data relevant to the investigation, which may have been deleted from the device. I will be requesting assistance from the Latah County Prosecutor's Office to apply for warrants to these companies for any data from accounts related to the following identifiers located in the phone data. So there's 2 Gmail accounts and a DeSales account. Email accounts. I will complete a complete examination of the data at my earliest convenience. And this was reviewed by Dustin Blaker. It's interesting when they say may contain or may have been deleted. So they didn't know, which, I mean, you're going to go straight to those sites and get the data from them as a backup anyways. The Barnharts lying. You have all the accounts except for the NordVPN. I mean, I don't ever use a VPN, but I know it's common. Sometimes it's a way people can access websites that maybe, I think maybe you have to, but if you use a VPN that looks like you're coming from a different country, maybe it's free, things like that. I don't know. I don't know a lot about it. George, did you ever email me? I can look to see what that photo was, if you sent it or not. But I don't want to stop. Yeah, Brooke, I see your comment about outrageous comments and they haven't read the documents. Yeah, some of the things they say, I'm like, what you're saying is literally contradicted in the documents, but I still try to be nice. Okay, this is document 106, Brett Payne. His narrative on November 13th, 2022, at approximately 13:49 hours, I interviewed EA. Okay, let's see if I say her name right. Emily Alant at the Moscow Police Department, referenced the quadruple homicide at 1122 King Road. I asked Alant what her relationship to the victims was. Am I saying her last name? I'm nervous now because someone called me out for saying it wrong. It's Alant, right? All right, I'm going with that. I'll apologize if it's wrong. Let's see. I asked Alant what her relationship to the victims was. She told me Kernodle was her best friend, and the others were all her close friends as well. After I collected her information, I asked Alant to tell me about her day on November 12th, 2022. I'll just call her Emily. Emily stated she left the football game and then went to see friends of hers at an apartment near hers, blank Taylor Avenue. Emily stated she arrived at her apartment at approximately 20:30 hours. Emily stated Jay, is that Josie? There's two J's. Oh, Hunter Johnson and Elle all went to sleep early the evening of November 12th, 2022. Emily stated they planned to go to the blank lodge party, but did not end up going. That's the Sigma Chi lodge party, but did not end up going. Emily stated she and Hunter woke up at approximately 100 hours and then stayed up watching TV until approximately 300 hours, at which point they went back to sleep. Emily stated she woke up at approximately 10:30 hours on November 13th, 2022. Emily stated Mortensen called her at approximately 11:51 hours that morning and said last night around 4 a.m. she heard and saw a man, and she and Bethany were locked in their room sleeping, and added she wanted Emily to come over to check the house because she was too scared. Emily also said Mortensen heard Gonsalves scream and run up the stairs. A while later, Mortensen came out of her room and saw the man staring at her. Emily stated the man didn't do anything to Mortensen. Mortensen said she stayed locked in her room and heard the side door close, so she ran into Bethany's room. I asked Emily if she asked Mortensen why she didn't call anyone that night. Emily stated Mortensen told her it was because she was intoxicated and didn't want to believe what was going on. Mortensen also told Emily the man was wearing a mask and could only see his eyes and nose. Emily stated, is this Johnson? Hunter went over to the house just before her when Emily arrived. She stated she went upstairs but was stopped by Johnson, who told Emily she didn't want to see it. Emily went back outside and officers responded. I asked Emily if anything seemed out of the ordinary from what she saw. She told me there was a large party at the house on Friday, November 11th, 2022. Emily stated the house was a mess due to the party. Emily also told me she saw a knife laying on the floor at the top of the stairs when she went inside. Emily described the knife as a steak knife. It was later determined Johnson grabbed this knife when he entered the house. Emily stated she remained outside after she walked out of the residence until law enforcement arrived. She also stated she then came to the Moscow Police Department to be interviewed. I asked Emily if she knew who would commit the murders. Emily stated she did not know. Emily added she and Kernodle were no longer blank sorority members. I asked her if there had been any stalking behavior or recent suspicious circumstances. Emily stated there had not been anything she could remember. She also stated there were no other conflicts with the other victims she knew of. I concluded my interview with Emily after collecting the information about her cell phone. And that was reviewed by Dustin Blaker. So Emily is saying Dylan clearly understood what was happening at night during the time Kaylee was screaming, but didn't want to call because of not wanting to believe it, being intoxicated, but Emily is saying Dylan expressed that she did understand, like, the gravity of it. Is Tomboy Charm in here? Good morning, Tomboy. I feel like I'm still trying to wake up and it's noon. I'm still having coffee. It's probably cold now. Take a sip of my cold coffee. Oh, something else this made me think of. Let me look again. What was it? Oh, with Maddie. So when they're doing these interviews, they're always asking all these kids, I just call them kids, college kids, um, was there any stalking? Did you know about the person hiding in the wooded area when Kaylee took Murphy outside? Um, that didn't seem like it had happened that long ago, a month at the most, probably just a few weeks, is what I thought I heard in the interviews. Yet Bethany says that the night of the murders, her and Maddie took Murphy out, but Bethany didn't stay out there with her. She just stayed out there for a few seconds and went back inside. If you and your roommates know that Kaylee or anyone, it could have been anyone else, but if Kaylee said, "Hey, I think someone's like creeping, watching when we go out to take the dog out," um, wouldn't you stick together or um, maybe go out front where it's not so isolated, more lit up? Yeah, it could have been someone just watching the house for sure. But I mean, my point is, why would Bethany leave her out there alone if you know that there was a sighting of someone being weird? I just think you wouldn't do that. And I wouldn't want to be out there alone. Like, if I was Maddie, I'd be like, come on, Murphy, we're going back inside." Um, she has been busy. The first medical examiner that was called back for false alarm. Oh, I don't know about that. I do think that a lot of people are speculating that maybe help was called earlier than what we're seeing on the 911 call. And I do think it's interesting if you go back and watch the first responder. Who is that? Is that Nunez that responds first and grabs the defibrillator out of his trunk and runs in the house? Um, I feel like his reaction, like he's running, right? He's like threw that trunk open, grabbed what he needed, is running, going fast towards the house. And those kids are just standing there. Like, you're calling for one of our roommates passed out and is not responding. And we're not acting hyperly concerned, like, "Oh my gosh, the police are here. I'm going to walk towards the police, hurry up. She's up here. She's over," directing them, which is what I think would be normal. They're just kind of like standing there with their arms folded. And he even has to say, "Where's she at? Where's she at?" And then I want to go back and I'm wondering if Outcast has, I'm sure he has. He's like done a lot of enhancing of the audios and things like that. Dylan responds when he says, "Where's she at?" or whatever, the officer, however he words it. She clearly says something. It's hard to make out. But she doesn't just give a straight answer like, upstairs. It's almost like she says which one or something like that. It's something, some kind of comment. I would like to go back and watch that again slower. Yeah, them keeping the coroner out there drives me crazy. Yeah. And I find that hard to believe. Do you really think she was waiting at the end of the road? I mean, I'd have to look. Do any of you have photos of that staging area, or was there video of that staging area? I mean, I'm sure that's probably where the news stations were set up originally, right? I'm gonna make a note to look for that. Look for the staging area. I just can't imagine Mabbit sitting down there for 5 to 6 hours. I do have to say though, if she did finally go, what time are you guys saying? Like 5 something, 5:30? There are a couple documents. I think I just read one of them in my last 91 to 100. There's a document in there that says the times that they take the bodies to the morgue or the funeral home or wherever they took them. So that time is in there, and it does look like she got there because she has to release the bodies. So that looks correct to me. Oh, the media was staged over by the band field. Okay. Huh. So you're thinking there was a first responder called earlier. Eric Gower. I know that some people are going to be diving into his whereabouts, that's for sure. It's interesting that they said they have Brian Koberger's neighbors interview recorded, so I would love to see that. There was another interview they said that was recorded that I would like to see. They went straight to the funeral home. Yeah. And then to Spokane. This is 107. I'm reading this one and 3 more. This is Dustin Blaker. On November 13th, 2022, at around 14:19 hours, I conducted an interview with, let's see what this looks like, H-O or C? You guys know who that is? H-O or C? At the Moscow Police Department. H, and then a big long redaction, one of the victims. What is this? Dated? Was friends with? Is a relative of? It's something like that. H, and then it's redacted. One of the dated? Something. Oh, it's a fraternity member, so maybe. Okay, let's see if we can get some more context clues. H is a student at the University of Idaho and is a member of the blank fraternity. H lives at the fraternity. H told me he and Ethan went to a formal dinner with their sister. Oh, this is Hunter. Okay, I gotcha. Hunter Chapin, a brother of one of the victims. Okay, I got it. Hunter told me he and Ethan went to a formal dinner with their sister Maisie. Should be Chapin. Maisie is a member of the blank sorority. The formal was at around 1800 hours at Hunga Dunga. After the formal was, excuse me. After the formal was over, they went back to blank. Ethan, Xana, and Hunter were all hanging out in his apartment room at the blank fraternity. Hunter last saw Ethan and Xana at 21 hours when he left his apartment to go up to the main lodge where the house party was at. Hunter returned at 21:15 hours and Ethan and Xana were gone. Hunter stated he went to bed at around 2200 hours. I asked Hunter if Ethan had any issues with anyone, and he told me no. I asked Hunter if he knew if Xana had any issues with anyone, and he told me no. Hunter was not able to provide me with any further information. That's interesting. That was reviewed by Corporal Payne. So let's see. 2100 hours. That's 3 hours before midnight. So 9 o'clock, Hunter went to the lodge party. 21:15. So 9:15, he came back. Xana and Ethan were gone. Right? Is that 9:00? 2100 hours? Am I saying the right time? Is that 9 p.m.? Because midnight is 24. So 24, 23, 22, 21. Yeah, 9. So he was gone for 15 minutes. They left. He doesn't see them leave. And then he went to bed around, so 22 is 10 o'clock. He only went to the party for 45 minutes. Early to bed, early to rise. So Hunter went to the Sigma Chi party for 45 minutes. He didn't see Ethan and Xana leave. He left his room for 15 minutes and they left while he was gone. You don't know military time. I can figure it out, but I have to count it. I have to count it. All right. So that was some interesting information there. That was 107. This is report 108. And it's Dustin Blaker. On November 11th, 2022, at around 14:27 hours, I conducted an interview on JL at the Moscow Police Department. Jay told me she lives at blank Taylor Avenue. If you guys know who this is, let me know. Jay told me she lives at blank Taylor Avenue blank. These apartments are referred to as the Whites. Jay stated she went to 1122 King Road in the afternoon of November 12th, 2022, and was hanging out with Xana. Jay stated they all went to the Whites at around 1300 hours for different parties in the apartment complex. Ethan left to go to his sister's formal, but Jay was not sure what time that was at. Jay felt she got to Xana's house at around 12:30 on November 12th, 22. Jay stated she saw Xana, Ethan, Dylan, Bethany, Kaylee, Maddie, O.L., L, and E. Jay told me she feels she last saw Xana and Ethan at around 1500 hours, but was not sure. So that would be 5 o'clock. No, 3 o'clock. That's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Jay told me she got a text from Ethan asking for the Snapchat for CG or OG, but she never sent it to him. Jay did not know why Ethan wanted this information and stated as far as she knew, they did not have issues with each other. Jay then told me where she had heard from others that Kaylee had seen some random guy behind the house when she took Murphy out to pee. Jay also heard of an incident where some random guy followed Kaylee around Winco and followed her out of the store, and she thought he tried to get into her car. Jay was not sure for sure who she heard this from, but either Bethany or Dylan could tell us more. Jay told me she knows Xana and Ethan do like to use Adderall when they drink, but they did not know who they got it from or if they took any on November 12th, 2022. Jay was not able to tell me anything else related to the case, and this was reviewed by Corporal Payne. Okay. So she's saying Ethan asked for a Snapchat for, I cannot tell if these are ever C's or O's. I would think it's an O because I don't know. I can't tell. CG or OG, but she never sent it to him. And then she's applying that they would have Like she says, I don't think they would have issues with each other. Why would she say that? Maybe she was asked. Maybe the officer asked that. That's what I was thinking. Josie, is that Josie? Yeah. Anything with her has been triple redacted. I haven't seen anything for a prescription. People just kind of speculated they wouldn't be surprised if Xana had a prescription. And I just think it's because they see her energy, right? Her personality. But I haven't seen anything official about an Adderall prescription. Hi, Witchy. Didn't Ethan ask Hunter J for the Snapchat too? I don't know. I'll keep my eye out for that. All right, I'm adding this OG or CG person to the list. I got a list started, Witchy, for suspicious, shady people that have come across in the doc. I just added, if you go back a couple documents, Brian's neighbors saw him with a Harley Davidson riding tan man with a sleeve tattoo hanging out on Brian's steps. Okay. I get you. It's too much to remember, Witchy. It's too much. This is 109. Two more. Dustin Blaker. On November 13th, 2022, at around 14:41 hours, so that's 2:41 p.m., I believe, I conducted an interview on AW at the Moscow Police Department. A lives at blank Queen Road, which is this Ava Wood, I believe? Lives at the blank Queen Road, which is in the area of 1122 King Road. A was working at the U of I football game and was at the game until around 20:45 hours. A did not have any interactions with any of the people who live at 1122 King Road. 20:45 would be 8:45? 8:45, I believe, p.m. A saw and heard all the emergency lights and sirens and looked out and saw some of her friends standing outside with white blankets around them. A went out and brought more blankets to the people outside to try and help. A told me a few weeks ago on October 14th at around 100 hours, she heard what she thought was a male walk up to her door and try to open her door. A stated she had her deadbolt and door were both locked. A told me she saw photos posted on Snapchat by Kaylee, showing Kaylee and Maddie had been at the corner club and the grub truck. A was not able to tell me anything else about this case. Oh, that was short. That's reviewed by Corporal Payne. Yeah, 8:45. Suspicious and what? I said suspicious and shady. This is great. Instead of a bigger boat, we're going to need a bigger book. We're going to need a bigger book. For my retirement party, here's how good my friends know me. They just bought me, they buy me blank books. They just buy me blank lined books because they know I need to take all kinds of notes. Certainly not Slim Shady. Yeah, when I'm done with this one, this is the last one I'm going to read, and then we'll talk about that list of people. So this is document 110, Brett Payne. And this is back to evidence again. This might be a repeat document. This is the first document I started with, document 101. For some reason, they separated it out because it's about evidence. So it's for the nightstand, a comforter, a blue blanket, pillows, a mattress, a bed frame, a mattress, a bed frame, pillows, a shelf and picture, a nightstand, and pillows. I don't think this is different. On January 6th, 2023, I went back to 1122 King Road with several members of the Idaho State Police and the FBI in order to collect several pieces of evidence at the request of the defense counsel. Yeah, I think this is the same. Once on scene, we collected the mattress, bed frame, nightstand, pillows, and blankets from Kernodle's room. On January 6th, we also collected the mattress, bed frames ×2, folding frames, nightstand, pillows, and shelf from the east wall of Mogan's room. The items were wrapped and transported separately back to the Moscow Police Department, where they were placed on opposite sides of the MPD evidence bay. I completed the evidence involvement for each item, and they were secured in the bay. And that was reviewed by Dustin Blaker. So Ann Taylor had to request evidence that the victims were literally laying on for them to collect them. Why did they wait till January 6th to collect the evidence that held the blood DNA, all the blood evidence from the victims, till January 6th? Like, you guys, that's crazy. Yeah, but to collect evidence? Yeah. Oh, I can't wait to tell Carlos that one. He laughs at us when we call the police. He'll say, like, we call them buffoons, but I'm like, then I show him stuff and I'm like, look what they're doing. Yeah, that's insane. Okay, so when I started reading the documents, I started a digital note template. I'm going to show you guys. And then I failed miserably with keeping up with it. But now that I've gotten to 100, I'm like, I can't keep going. I'm getting further and further and further behind. Is it this one? Hold on, I'm pulling it up. There it is. That one. Okay. I don't know if I can make it bigger. Yes, I can. Slideshow. Oh, but then I can't show it that big. Hold on, I'll figure this out. I did this for a living. This was my, tool that I used all the time with my students. I don't think, oh, there we go. Okay. You can see it a little bit better. Okay, so I think I jotted down some shady people in here. So this says, and you guys, when I first started this, okay, I wrote on the left side here is my notes. And then on the right side over here, I thought, oh, I'm going to write down all the evidence that I find that points to Brian Koberger. And I got 3 bullet points. A size 13 shoe print, a major set of footprints outside the house made by one person possibly, and someone told Rosinski a sheath was found. That's all I got so far. So in documents 1 through 5, I said not one first responder mentions the sheath. The pooled blood under Maddie was still present. There was a backpack on the back patio. The girls said they didn't know where Kaylee and Maddie were, that they usually use Snapchat to find them. And Maddie had lividity in her leg. DM heard Kaylee scream. Oh, it's 2 a.m. to 2:30. Bethany and Maddie take the dog out. I always thought it was 3:30. Maddie and Bethany, Maddie was at Bethany's door at 2:30, which that's conflicting to me because they were supposedly up in the room at 2:00. So, I guess maybe they weren't up there that long. Bethany woke up to the firecracker. There was a black Explorer in the driveway. The witness said they saw the dog. Wait, said dog. I don't know. That got removed. Sorry. Blood on the beer pong table. A medical mask was found outside. There's supposed to be a picture of that. Did we ever see a picture of a medical mask outside? Jeff Kernodle did say he last spoke to Xana on the 11th, not the 12th. So that was in the documents. Okay, so no suspicious people in those first documents. Let's see. The Walmart worker 2 to 3 weeks ago, a tan-skinned college student and a little taller than her asked for a black ski mask. So let's add that to the list. A tan-skinned. Wish there was more details. College student. That doesn't give us much. That does not give us much. But someone at Walmart trying to buy a ski mask. Why would you ask? Why would you ask? Okay. I'm looking for more suspicious people. Didn't Eric Gower drive a Prius? Because in documents 10 through 15, I didn't write down which specific document, but 10 through 15, Maddie and Kaylee took an unknown drive in a Prius to the corner club. I mean, I'm sure more than one person can drive a Prius, but. All right, witchy. I think this is our first really, truly shady person. And it's in one of these documents, 10 through 15. AA went to the police. He had cuts on his hand from a pocket knife cutting chicken or falling through the window. So he doesn't know if he cut it on chicken or the window. I don't know if the person's actual name is AA or the person they interviewed is AA. I have to double check that. AA. Chicken or window? He was too drunk, right? But there were people around him. I think that's pretty funny, though. It's either 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, or 15. I just did them in batches. I didn't write down the exact one. Chicken Man is Curtis Leonard. Thank you for the name. Chicken Man. And he's a college student? Okay. Diaz. And these are the docs where they say that Jack D had the, mental health issue. I don't, that's normal though, to go through a breakup and need some counseling. Okay. Document 16 to 22 a.m. called in a tip that the black and white flannel guy at the corner club had a black shirt underneath and it said antisocial. And they're saying that the person's name is OB. The Colonel. Who's the Colonel? Who's OB? Oh, I totally lost my mind after a breakup, in high school. Yeah. Yep. And I got no help. Gen X, baby, just shake it off. Don't talk about your feelings. Uh, I finally got therapy at like the ripe old age of like, I don't know, I was probably around 48, something like that. Never too late. Never too late. All right. So OB is the initials of the person getting kicked out of the corner club. I liked the additional detail of what it said on his shirt. His shirt said, what did it say? Antisocial. That's telling. All right, so we got OB. Let's see. We got the fire hydrant on the jacket that they call the vest. Here we go. Dago and I were talking about this, I think. Lanier searched the neighborhood. Sorry. Yeah, I brought this up to Dago. Lanier searched the neighborhood with Fry and found a black bag in the backyard. Gunderson joined them and found a vest, not a jacket, I put, next to a fire hydrant. Okay, so Gunderson joined them. I knew it was somebody different. Okay, so that's good to know. Let's see. More about them asking about drugs. There is an official report about the guy walking the dog in the morning, and he did say, I saw that door open from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. That was a rumor for a long time, and that's one of those rumors that came true. And I don't know if Lucy's still in here or not, but this is why I get so riled up and confused at the same time. So in these documents, 10 through 15, they're saying there's timing advance report, AT&T tower dump, and specific phone numbers from 3 to 5 a.m. Tell me she's in here. You've been summoned, Lucy. Can you hear me? Do you guys know, is that AT&T timing advanced different than what Cyray is asking for? I know, Donna. Now I remember it's hard for me to see O's and C's, so maybe I read it wrong. If it's CB, then I read it wrong. So CB could be Cole Berenberg, right? And I said OB. I'm sorry about that. When they redact it, they put the black box halfway over the O, so you can't tell. You can't tell what it is. Yep. Thanks, you guys. What day was that tower dump? I would have to look. Oh, 16 to 22. I can look real quick. It won't take long at all. 16 to 22. In here? Yep. 16. I'll show you. I'll show you guys what I'm looking at. This is the Corner Club antisocial guy. Well, now I know what a C looks like for Cole. That's the president of the university. This is finding the jacket. And my notes are in order of the docs, so I should be able to know. Not that one. This is document 20 I'm looking at. Ooh, this just reminded me of something. This is the dog walker. Okay, here we go. AT&T, Lawrence Mowry, it's document 21. On November 16th, I applied for and was granted the following warrants for the cell phone providers serving the area around 1122 King Road in Moscow, Idaho. So it says November 16th. Can you see that? Is it sharing? I did get your message, Tomboy. Yes. Okay, November 16th, 2022. AT&T. Then they redact the phone number, but it's from North Palm Beach, Florida for a tower dump of all records. Well, listen to the way that they're wording it. For a tower dump of all records and unique device user identifiers pertaining to timing advance, real-time tool, location database of record, that locked bar, location information during the following listed dates, times, and geographical boundaries, the distance from the GPS point. So GPS coordinates, they block out the coordinates, the distance from the location within a half a mile from November 13th, 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. Then it's for AT&T call detail records for the following phone account. So they're just asking for specific phone numbers. So they've got 3 numbers right here. They also did this for Verizon. This phone number is from Bedminster, New Jersey. So I'm wondering if if these are like students that are coming from out of state to go to college in Idaho, and their phones would be registered back at their home state. So one from New Jersey and one from Florida. North Palm Beach, Florida. I don't know. I'm just speculating. I'm just guessing. For a tower dump or all records and unique device user identifiers pertaining to timing advance, real-time tool, that locked bar, location information during the following listed dates and times, within a half a mile, 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. They were on to somebody. And then call detail records for 3 other phone numbers. T-Mobile, another one from New Jersey, another tower dump, another within a half a mile, 3 to 5 a.m. And this one has 2 phone numbers. And then this Inland Cellular, that's got to just be a local cell phone company. Another tower dump, half a mile, 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. and they don't put a phone number for that one. That's interesting. Molly's number. Did she originally live somewhere else? They look like full tower dumps to me, but I don't really know what I'm doing. I saw keywords and phrases. I saw call detail record, timing advance. What were the other keywords? Timing advance, real-time tool, location database of record. Yep. Those are the keywords for me. I know. I'm sure she'll say, she'll know more about it than me. 14 boxes of books loaded in your car, officially driving now. Be careful out there, Witchy. Be careful. Okay, back to, let me see if I can switch. Remove. I don't know why. Okay, you should be able to see my notes again, hopefully. I'm just going to finish going through these notes and then wrap it up because I got to work on my video for tomorrow. All right. Oh, I've always wanted to talk to you guys about this. Okay. Someone at 1112 King Road. So I'm assuming it's a girl and her name starts with P. And again, I wrote P-O. It might be P-C. That person on the morning of the crime, the 13th in the morning, afternoonish, pretty much in the afternoon, she sent a video clip from her camera. No, I don't know this. It doesn't say from her camera. It says she sent a video clip to the police of a man walking to the dumpster and looking inside. So my question was, did the Linda Lane camera footage wasn't out by then? So because my first thought was that Linda Lane footage going around with that guy walking to the dumpster, looking inside of it, but that wasn't on the first day. So did 1112 catch another? Is there a second person walking to their dumpster? So like two different, because their dumpster, if you're looking at a video, would be to the left, and the other dumpster guy at Linda Lane, it would be the right. Isn't that crazy? No. Oh, we were sharing a channel. Whose channel were we sharing? I don't see. Two dudes, two different dumpsters. I don't know about the medical examiners yet. I gotta look at what you're talking about with that. But so think about that. I don't think she would have access to the Linda Lane camera footage at that time to get a clip of it to send to the police, but it's stated here. Let me read the document. This is, oh, it's still 16 to 22. Okay. I keep saying last one, and then I find one more. What am I sharing? This one. Okay, that was the tower dump. Okay, I think it's this. So let me read the document. On November 15th, this is document number 22. I received an email from SG, the blank. Okay, so this is Steve Gonsalves, the father of Keely Gonsalves. He stated he had access to some of Keely's messages and phone calls. Steve stated he would have blank, probably Olivia, contact me about those files. Wait, maybe this isn't it. Uber truck attached. Okay. In the image showing the camera, it was found that residence was at 1112 King Road. The SD card from the camera was brought to the Moscow Police Department. But okay, so this is where they're bringing. Here we go. All right, I'm going to read these two paragraphs. In the image showing the camera, it was found that residence was at 1112 King Road. The SD card from the camera was brought to the Moscow Police Department, but the file system of the card was not recognized by any of the forensic computers. The card was returned to the owner and reinstalled into the camera. On November 17th, 2022, Officer John Rosinski recontacted the owner of the camera, PC, via phone. C stated she was out of town, but sent a video to Officer Rosinski showing a figure walk to the dumpster and appear to look inside. Right? You guys seeing what I'm seeing? Two dumpsters, two guys. Fear nothing, question everything. Okay. Thank you for sharing. Fear nothing, question everything. That's a great name. Would that cover Coeur d'Alene? Are you talking about those tower dumps? I don't know. All right, but this is where I'm getting that from. So I'm getting it from document 22. And PC sent this video clip to the police on November 17th. So November 17th, PC sent dumpster clip. I need to go back and finish adding all my notes. I did up to, is that it? Document 23. I got a long way to go. I have a long way to go. Oh, I got SB on here. Contacted by MPD and ISP video from 1200 to 1300 hour movements, left the dorm room dressed in black. So I do have that in my notes. So if Witchy is still in here, I've got on our shady list, SB, AA, CB. I'm forgetting somebody. Oh, and CG. It's probably CG, the motorcycle guy. What I need to do, maybe for next week, I will put that solid list together and pull out all the information in the documents that match why they are shady, suspicious suspects. And you put everything together that matches them, right? Did anybody match them in a video? Did anybody talk about them in a document? All of that. So, yeah. I'm gonna show you guys this real quick, just because I said this was a working session. Here's how I start when I make my videos. This is like my sharing live. So this is the basic editor that I use. Doc 77. Yes. That's the SB guy, right? Oh no, Doc 77 is the yeah. I got you. The guy with the name that starts with G. Yes, and the guy that hides his knives in the wood pile in the basement. Yes. I think it was GM, right? Okay. Gotcha. So here's where I'm at with my editing for tomorrow. It's literally going to take me like the rest of the day and night to get this done. So I recorded my voice. So there's, if you see me moving this, that's the sound of my voice reading the story. So I read the story, and then I had to go into YouTube and find a free music background, just because I like to do that. And you put it with it, and then you adjust the volume. So I make the music real low, my voice normal. And then what's going to take me the rest of the day is going in and adding images or videos that match what I'm saying in the video. So you just keep adding stuff in here, but you have to find it first before you add it. So I either find it like in their library of stuff. They have a library. So I could like just type in, car or night, and some videos or pictures would come up. Or if they don't have what I like, I got to go over to Google and find the image there. So it's tedious, but that's my that's my creativeness that I like to do. So, yeah, I thought, oh, I'll just sit here and do it with you guys, but it's really boring. So I won't do that while you're sitting here watching. Maybe another time. There was one other document that I want to see if you guys have seen. Let me find it. It's a document with a photo. I think it's the state police docs 127. Let me look. Oh geez. Is it this one? Released documents? Yeah, I think it's this one. Oh no. Oh wait, maybe I had it open already. Did I? Nope. That's another one. Open it with Cami. There we go. Did you guys see the car with the fake blood on it? That second call, Tomboy, is gaining more traction with me. I will just say that. The more I look at that 911 call and the officers No to what? I'll go back and look in your books for that name. What name? Maybe you guys are just talking to each other, that's okay. Yeah, I agree with you, Tom. Oh, that was Brooke saying that. That's Brooke saying that. Have you guys seen the fake blood car? Oh, come on. That doesn't show up. Oh, I picked the wrong thing. Sorry, you guys. I picked the wrong thing. Share screen. Let me go back here. This one. Have you guys heard of the app Cami? That's what I use, Kami. I can open a document in it and you can draw on it, write on it, and do all kinds of stuff. All right, that's not working. That's annoying. All right, this might be it. Where's 127? Okay. Wrong one. Shoot. I want the documents. Where's the documents? Photos, report. It's nothing that earth shattering, but the first time I scrolled past it, I was like, what on earth is this? All right, 127. Don't look at the screen if scrolling gives you a headache. What number is this? 54. Oh, 130. Okay, here. Did you guys see these? Look at that. Can you see it? You can't see it. Oh, hold on. What is this doing? Can you see it now? Why can't you see my screen? Have you guys seen that photo before? If I was the police and someone sent this to me, I would be like, what? So apparently, someone screenshotted this off of Facebook Marketplace. Facebook Marketplace. And then the police, he was selling this car looking like this. So the police call him up, the guys at work, and they're like, yeah, someone, they were at his house and they were knocking on the door and he didn't answer. So they went to the neighbor and the neighbor, gave them his phone number and they called him at work and they're like, we would like to test this to see if it's real blood. The guy's like, dude, it's fake. I did it for Halloween. Yeah, go ahead and test it. But the interesting thing is I don't know if we've seen the test results. Have we seen the test results? Yeah, it was crazy. Like this car, like that was funny. Like who would be that dumb, right? Although you never know, hide in plain sight. I mean, they even took black and white photos of it, all kinds of stuff. Crazy. Okay. Is this the one that I saved? All right, last thing, and then I'm getting off. This document is in the Moscow Police Department documents. I wish it would let you switch tabs. I don't understand. Share screen. No, this one. Okay. This is short. Okay. Moscow Police documents 265, but it was separated out of the group. So this is why I've read it earlier because I'm only in the 100s. So this is written by Jay Waters. Jay Waters. I don't know if I've heard that name before. And he said on November 12th, here, I can write on here. On November 12th, at 18:53 hours. So what is that? 18, 12, 6:53 p.m. There is a 4RE. I don't know what that is. A 4RE vehicle video saved under my name. So under Jay Waters and his badge number. The video depicts a patrol car transporting two Moscow police cadets to the Kibbe Dome. Sometime later, the vehicle returned to the police department. I do not know who was actually driving the vehicle, but it was not me. What? On November 13th, 2022 at 20:51 hours, so that's 8:51 p.m. I responded to 1122 King Road. I was asked to maintain a written scene access log, arrived on scene. Two of the victims were prepared for transport. Captain Lanier advised he wanted a marked patrol unit to escort blank to the funeral home. Officer Morris arrived on scene and relieved me at the door. I handed Officer Morris the scene access log. I escorted blank to the funeral home. I stopped the recording on my body-worn camera while driving at approximately 21:30 hours. So what did I say? 8:51 is when they moved the bodies. Somewhere around there. PM. And on November 12th at almost 7 p.m., someone's using his vehicle and badge number, and he doesn't know who it is. Isn't that crazy? Curious. I haven't seen anybody else talk about that. I'm sure other channels probably have. I just don't see every video, but all right. So someone was using Jay Waters' vehicle on the 12th in the evening. I know the Kibbe Dome is mentioned a couple times. And these cadets. So that's interesting. Yeah, for an escort, like I'm a police cadet and I need you to take me to the Kibbe Dome, but it's almost like it looks secret to me. It's got to be secret. Yeah. Wonder if anything came of that. All right. Well, I hope I brought up some questions for you guys to keep thinking about today. Thanks for letting me read my documents with you. I'm going to clip them now into its own little video. I'm finding that helpful, that reading these documents in these small batches, I can just go back real quick and listen to it as a reference. So I'm glad I did that. Hi, Sarah D. Irish. Good to see you. And before I leave, I just want to say thank you to the members, Witchy and Tomboy. Thank you for being a member as always. And thank you to my moderators, Brooke and Lucy and Lori, for coming in and being here and supporting me. And James was in here, and who else did I see earlier? James, Sarah, Tony, Donna, Joey. I missed you earlier. Hello, Joey. Always good to see you. I know I'm missing somebody. It wasn't James or Mark, but I hope everybody has a great rest of your day. Look into those people. We're looking for CG. Who's the other guy? Oh, the Harley Davidson guy. See if we can find out more about that person. And please meet me back here tomorrow. That's where I'm going to have my story video ready to go. And the case that I'm comparing is going to show more prosecutorial misconduct, but also how do these convicted suspects end up getting an appeal or post-conviction relief. So that's what I want to talk about tomorrow. You guys are awesome and amazing. Thanks for all your ideas and information in the chat. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you back here tomorrow. Thanks again. Bye.
Thanks for watching, hope you felt the spark. Please hit that like before it gets dark. Subscribe, it's free and keeps us going strong. You're part of the crew now, right where you belong. Join us next time, same truth, same fire. We bring the heat and never tire. We're typically unique and proud to be a husband and wife in podcast harmony. Practically unique, yeah, that's you and me. Don't forget to like and hit subscribe, it's free. Come back again, we'll be right here with truth and laughs and zero fear. We don't always agree, but that's the show. One love, two minds, letting it flow. We dig deep with crack jokes, we called it like we see. If that's your vibe, you belong here with me. We don't always agree, but that's the show. One love, two minds, letting it flow. We dig deep with crack jokes, we call it like we see. If that's your vibe, you belong here with me. We don't always agree, but you felt the spark. Please hit that like before it gets dark. We dig deep with crack jokes, we call it like we see. If that's your vibe, you belong here with me. Thanks for watching.